The New York Knicks even their record at 6-6 with a home victory over the Detroit Pistons on Friday night. And fourth-year wing RJ Barrett continued his stretch of strong play recently. However, there are questions as to whether or not he can be the Knicks' missing superstar. Ian O'Connor, the great New York Post sports columnist, has some thoughts on this matter, and he shared them in his most recent column. And he joins me now. Ian, good to see you. Long time no see.
You too, Dexter. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I thought
Good.
you wrote a really good piece here about RJ Barrett and the Knicks, and that's why I wanted to have you on to talk. So, Ian, following the victory over Detroit, point guard Jalen Brunson said that he believes Barrett can be an all-star. Where do you think that he is at in his development as a player right now?
Well, I think he can be an all-star in the future, but not one of these guys who makes it 8 years in a row. I think RJ Barrett is limited a little bit in the fact that he's not a great shooter and he's not overly athletic. And when you're 6'6" in the league, those limitations are difficult to deal with. So I think there is a ceiling on how high he can go in terms of being a star. Do I think he can be one? Yes. A superstar? No. And that creates a bit of a problem when you look at where the Knicks are with their roster and passing on Donovan Mitchell. And ultimately, as you know, Dexter, the NBA is a star player league. And unless you have one at the top of that roster, or two, or maybe three, you're not winning a championship. And we all know the Knicks haven't won one since 1973.
It's been a long time. And you mentioned about it could be a problem. The Knicks were banking on Barrett to reach levels of stardom that you talked about, especially when they gave him the $120 million this summer. And Donovan Mitchell, as you also mentioned, he's been killing it in Cleveland this year, who New York was unable to land. So how much pressure is there on Barrett to become a great player?
Well, there is pressure, and you look at Ja Morant, looks like he's going to be a generational talent. Zion Williamson, if he can stay healthy, we know what he can do, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy consistently. We'll see how that plays out. But certainly there's pressure on him. And the fact is that, but here's the problem: if you don't have stars, you don't get bigger stars to come play with you. LeBron James in 2010, Kevin Durant in 2019 are the most conspicuous examples of that, where the Knicks had to settle for Amari Stoudemire in 2010 and Julius Randle in 19 because the major free agents wouldn't sign with the Knicks because their roster wasn't good enough. So that's why Tom Thibodeau was really disappointed in the fact that the Knicks could not get that deal for Donovan Mitchell done, because without a player like Mitchell on your roster, it's hard to get the megastar to sign up with your franchise.
And speaking of that, as you mentioned, right now it doesn't appear that the Knicks have a star player on their roster. So how patient should this team be in making a move to acquire a star player?
Hey, Yankees fans aren't patient, and they won a championship in 2009. Knicks fans haven't won one in 50 years. So how much longer are they supposed to wait? And so they have to find a way. They have a lot of draft capital to use. Leon Rose does, to try to acquire a great player somehow, some way over the next year or two. But Knicks fans really shouldn't be that patient. It's been so long, and there have been a lot of promises made and broken over time. So no, I think the urgency should be there right now to try to find a way in the near future to make a deal for a franchise player. Tom Thibodeau said that in his first weeks or months on the job about the need for the front office to be creative, to try to force something to make it happen in pursuit of a star. So we'll see how that plays out in the coming months.
We will see. Thus far, it has not happened, or we can see maybe RJ Barrett develops into that star player Knicks fans are looking for. That is Ian O'Connor. Check out his column on RJ Barrett at NewYorkPost.com. Ian, good to see you. Good to talk some hoops with you. Thank you for your time.
You too. Thanks, Dexter.